Oh, this is kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to be this close together sharing droplets next week.
Yeah, I'm headed back to Vancouver. If you listen to Wednesday's podcast, you know that. I'll be there until December 29th. So this is the last time we're going to be sitting in our huge studio together recording.
But I'll see you. Oh, I was going to say I'll see you next year, but I will see you this year.
Yeah, well, if I see you before the new year.
What do you got? You got New Year's plans without me, boo?
Well, when I do come back, I usually tend to try to stay away from people for 2 weeks.
Oh, you'll be quarantined.
Unless and which you don't have to interprovincially. I've explained that to many people, but I like to do it to be safe. If not, I want to go for a COVID test before I open myself up to people or, exchange spit or
How
anything
responsible
like that.
of you.
Right?
I'm actually surprised we haven't got any hate mail being like, you guys sit way too close together.
I think they know that I bet you a lot of people assume we're lovers or we live together.
If we're lovers, does it say more about me or more about you? Because
at least we'd both be getting laid.
Get your gaydar. You are getting laid. Don't
I know that was more of a jab at you than me.
Well, hey, you said we, so thank you. She's in a good mood these days because she is getting laid, as you know if you listen to Wednesday.
Okay, we're moving on from that.
Oh, come on. No, she's getting bashful.
It's because the reason I'm getting bashful is because he's a very awesome guy, and I just don't want to fuck it up.
I know I am, but what is he?
I know, right? I went and met my best friend Alexa the other day, and we were talking. She's like, "Oh my God, he sounds so great. He sounds like everything." And when we were leaving, she gives me a hug, and she's like, "Oh my God, have a great Christmas, and don't fuck it up." And I was like, "Okay, RuPaul, calm down."
Yeah. So you're not saying Alexa again? Oh, because you're going home, right?
Right. I'm gone.
She's out of here.
Yeah, you're one of the last people I'm seeing other than my friend tomorrow, and then I'm on a jet plane.
Leaving. Here we go singing again. Everybody, the jet plane. That's a good song.
I do know when I'll be back again. Yeah. December 29th. Do we tell them we're taking a break too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're taking a break for a week. Again, if you listen on Wednesday, you'll know this. We're taking a break for a week because we're doing some website construction. We have some other behind-the-scenes stuff that we're kind of cooking up.
No, really, Jenna just wants a week off to tan in Vancouver because you can do that there.
It's raining for 2 weeks.
Oh, good. Good.
At least it's not snow.
Yes, I know.
So I loved this letter that we got because it was someone writing on behalf of their friend. So she was having troubles giving her friend advice. So she's like, I want to write to you guys and hopefully you can give me some advice to pass along to her.
So the friend doesn't know she wrote to us?
No.
Oh, I would just like to also shout out another email we got that said I had great hair. Thank you, mystery man, whoever that was. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Hot dad, wasn't that
the
email that it came from?
I am single. If you're curious or interested, send us another one.
All right. So this one, the subject is writing on behalf of my friend. Hello, Messy Podcast. I'm a fairly new listener. I can tell by the way she just addressed us in general. And hello, Messy Podcast.
She's so professional. She might not be a listener for long.
Right. I listened to your episode about the girl who doesn't like oral from her man, and I can totally relate to it. Let's dive more into that, but she doesn't. She goes, I really love listener letters, and while my life is pretty boring, my friend has been pretty stressed about something, and I figured maybe you could give me some advice to pass along.
Oh, she's a big word for you there, Jenna Mo?
My friend Stacy has an issue, and I don't really know what to say without sounding mean. She's been with her boyfriend, let's call him Jim, for about 6 months. His best friend came to visit for the weekend. They threw a little social distancing barbecue outside, and we had a great time. That night, Jim made Stacy sleep on the couch because he wanted his friend to sleep in the bed with him.
What? Is the friend a guy or a girl?
It's a guy. Yeah. She thought that was a bit weird and pushed back a bit, but he got really mad. He said that they used to have sleepovers when they were kids and they would stay up all night talking. Not wanting to sleep on the couch and also being a little upset, my friend left and went home. Obviously, she's a bit concerned because she doesn't think it's normal for two guy friends to sleep in the same bed. I don't really know what to say because it's not nice to assume something you don't really know. Oh, sorry.
Girl.
She wrote this very fast.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. Keep going.
Should she bring it up again or just move on? Girls share beds all the time. Is it really that weird?
Yes.
If you were in her shoes, what would you do? I'd love to be able to give her some great advice. I can't wait to hear back from you, a helpful friend.
OMG. OMG.
Go ahead.
I just can't believe this is even humming. I can't believe this is even a question for us. Come on. Put yourself in this position. You're dating a new guy. If he said he wanted to share the bed with me and you go on the couch, hello.
Yeah, I wouldn't be having any of that.
Come on.
The whole part. So at first, do I think it's weird? At first I was like, oh yeah, this is weird. And I asked a few of my guy friends, I'm like, do you guys share beds? Like, is this a normal thing? And a lot of them said, no, it's not normal. But what is normal in 2020? They sound a bit younger. Like they sound like maybe they're in their early 20s.
Huh.
So like, again, this new generation of, you know, very like sexually fluid individuals, maybe it doesn't mean as much.
Well, you know.
So like for me as a girl who still shares her bed with her best friends, her mom, you know, with nothing sexual going on, as much as some male listeners would like to hope.
Well, hopefully not with your mom. But.
Right. But do you know what I mean? Like, so for me to say like, yeah, he's gay, like definitely was, or not just gay, but definitely boning his buddy is wrong because, you know, then, but I would never kick my significant other out of bed to have them in bed.
Well, it's almost like this thing where when you're driving in a car with a couple and you're the single, you automatically assume the couple takes the front seats and you sit in the back.
Right.
Like even if he was my buddy, I would never try to take the front seat from his girl.
I would not even from your sibling.
No, it's like a decorum thing. So there's that is the first thing is like, whoa, that you'd kick
It's a bit disrespectful, I think, more than homosexual.
But that is why it makes me think homosexual, because why are you going to fight to have your buddy sleep in your bed when a normal guy, would be happy to sleep on the couch, just see him in the morning?
Also, when I read this letter to like one of my straight friends, and he was like, well, why didn't the guy just sleep in the living room, like on the floor with his buddy on the couch, and they just had their little slumber party out there?
And let the girl have the bed.
Right. Yeah. Because we also don't know their like friendship history. Like what if something traumatic happened to one of them? Like I remember watching the show, and I guess like their father died on Christmas or something like that. So like every Christmas they spent it together and they had like a little sleepover party, and even into their older years.
Okay.
Like you never know what's really happened, what the friendship is like. But you would never, like the respect level to her is very low because you're imposing her in order to.
You're putting her out.
Yeah.
Like let her have, it's almost like when have you ever heard of like our parents and stuff, you'd have a guest over and they'd give the guest the master bedroom and they'd go stay in the spare room, or, you know, that's kind of weird because I'd rather the no germy, like sexed up spare room. Thank you. But, you know, some people think it's nice to do that. It's one of those things, but 100% there's some funny business going on.
So your brother is super straight.
Yes, but what you just said, is this where you're going? Because it made me think of the new generation and they don't necessarily choose.
No,
labels.
I was thinking like, did your brother, when he had sleepovers with his friends, because you were quite a bit older at the time. Sorry.
Only 12 years.
Your brother's a lot younger.
Yeah.
Did he ever have his friends sleep in his bed with him?
No, because in our house, it was the basement was a sleepover zone. So you'd bring your sleeping bags and it would be a whole thing in the basement. It was more of a, but I mean, you're sleeping right next to each other with sleeping bags. What's the difference?
A part of me, like, I think it was like what this young woman said in that. She goes, I don't really know what to say because it's not nice to assume something. I think she meant to say about someone you don't really know.
It's unusual. We can agree on that.
Unusual, yes. But does it mean that he's gay or bi or cheating on you or having a sexual relationship with him? I don't think so. And maybe we need to break down those barriers of like hypermasculinity where men can't sleep in the same bed.
It's true.
You know, like I remember like there's instances like where we go on these like big like ski trips with all these like all of us in like grade 12, and obviously you'd be like 6 to a room and everyone's like multiple sleeping on beds. I was okay. Yeah. We just like do the pillow mark or like just don't spoon me, go butt to butt.
Head to toe.
Yeah.
Seinfeld episode.
Or butt to butt.
I think it is telling of our generation that my first reaction was definitely homo. I still think that, but you're right that the new generation is changing their attitudes where maybe if they aren't worried about that kind of hyper masculinity, then it'd be fine. I have a very sad story about when I was at band camp.
One time at band camp?
It was in grade 9. And at the time, grade 9 was a very tough age for me because it was sort of before I came out, and it was like,
and that's like a puberty age too, right? For men. And
for me, I was transitioning between having all guy friends and like Power Rangers to being more fitting in with the girls.
Right.
And so had most of my friends were girls at that time, recess, hung out with the girls, lunch. So then when it came time for band trip, I had to pick a room to be in with only guys. So I'd go to like my former friends, and his name was Adrian and Philip. Adrian and Philip had my back, and they let me in their room, but there was 2 other guys in the room. It was like 6 people in a room. And I remember we were all sleeping, and I was pretending to be asleep because I didn't fit in with them.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, it's your turn to sleep with them. No, it's your turn, because you have to share beds in a hotel room. And so here I'm this young gay boy pretending to sleep, hearing them fight over who had to sleep in the bed with me. It was terrible, right? But that's where my mind goes, and that's how different the world was back then.
Right. So maybe this is a case of that it's 2020, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're gay, or do you know what I mean?
It could.
I feel like it's wrong for us to like judge.
It is.
You know, not knowing their story and circumstance. Like I said, like that friendship obviously runs deep. The fact that they said he got super upset, that was one of the things, that he got really mad and like defensive over it, and was like, when we were kids, we always had sleepovers and we'd talk for all hours of the night.
Yeah.
That to me shows like a deeper connection. Like maybe it was more of a brother thing. Maybe it was more of a, you know?
Well, it sounds like this nighttime chat, some of us call it pillow talk, was very important to this guy. And so that was part of the visit that he was really looking forward to.
Right.
So, yeah.
And who are we to judge? Like when I was in grade 11 and 12, I had my best friend move in with us, me and my parents, because she didn't have a stable home at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we had 2 beds in my room, but there were nights where like, you know, we'd maybe smoke a little weed or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, we weren't in grade 11 and 12. We were totally adults. No, but, and then like we'd both like, or we get into like the same bed to watch a movie, and then we just like fall asleep in the same bed. It doesn't mean that we're like playing with each other's genitals.
No, and that's where women and girls have been for ages.
But why is that fair? It's a double standard.
It is a double standard, but that's why women have a better grasp of sexuality than a lot of straight guys, where you guys aren't threatened by that. You don't think it's weird. You know,
Right.
A lot of straight guys have this toxic masculinity that we're talking a lot more about these days, which I think is good because we're, you know, looking the other way now.
Right. So I think that she was right writing to us, because if she was like, now your boyfriend's gay, that might just create more stress for Stacy, and also could cause stress on their friendship. But one of the questions she says is, should she bring it up again or just move on? I think that depends on what your friend's feeling. If it's something that really bothers her and she feels like she needs to talk about it, then she has every right to bring it up.
Do we know if the friend, the actual girlfriend, is upset about it? Or if the friend just thinks it's weird?
Well, she left and went home instead of sleeping on the couch.
Why wouldn't you stay on the couch? At least then you'd have an eye in, you'd hear stuff. They were probably thrilled if they are gay.
Sometimes you don't want to see, sometimes you don't want to see what you think.
Ignorance is bliss. Yeah.
Right?
She should have done like the smell test. Or come back in the morning and see if he's in the mood.
And smell his penis?
Yeah. See if it stinks. If it smells like spit.
They sometimes do smell in the morning.
Yeah, but not but you'd smell if it was spit or like dried up cum on it or worse.
Tressy.
Well,
I think that if she really wants to, and if it's going to bother and strain her relationship and she can't, that's the thing, is I always remember when I thought my boyfriend was cheating, but I never wanted to say anything because I didn't want to make him mad.
And you had no proof.
Right. And I didn't want to make him mad and come off as crazy.
Yeah.
You know, when really he was cheating. So if you have that gut girl
100%.
feeling where you're like, okay, I feel like this needs to be talked about, then maybe you should bring it up again.
I was just watching something about that gut feeling. Was it The Secret or some movie came on TV? I think it was The Secret. And they talk about that gut feeling exists in humans for a reason.
I think it's even stronger in women too.
I think so too, women's intuition. And it's not even a spiritual or magic thing. It's just human instinct. If you have that feeling that there's danger or something not quite right, listen to it. And so often we talk ourselves out of that feeling. Oh, I'm crazy. I'm imagining things. No, you're probably not.
Do you think she should bring it up again with him or just ignore it? If you're as young as I think you are, if you're in your 20s, girl, just move on.
Here's an idea.
If he's not willing to open up and tell you anything, then the battle is just such a waste of time.
I have an idea. She needs to bring up to him that she has lately accidentally stumbled on some gay porn and she really thinks it's hot. And she just can't, you see where I'm going? He can't get enough of it. Would he ever be into an open experience and gauge his reaction?
Or next time you're having coitus, just Slip a little pinky.
Listen, not all gay men like it in the bum.
A pinky is nothing. I've had a pinky in my bum before.
Some people have IBS. It's just a no-go zone, okay?
That's true.
It doesn't mean you're gay.
Right. Or maybe just put a little pressure back there. Not enough for it to go up, but enough pressure just like on the taint area. Or not the taint.
Yeah, it is the taint.
Is that the area?
Right before?
Pernellum, isn't it? That what it's called?
The perineum.
Perineum, pernellum.
But it's called the taint. That's the slang term.
Okay. So put like just a little pressure. So like it's close enough that one, it's going to touch his prostate.
You can get, yeah.
And two, it's not going to go up.
I'll give you a tip. So you can get a guy's prostate without going up, but you have to go very close to it. So go right near the hole, but like towards the side of the balls, and you push really hard. Like it's almost like fingering him, but you don't actually go up.
Right.
But it's not in the middle of the taint, because in the middle of the taint that could stop semen from coming out.
But when you are like, for a lot of like straight men, if you get even close to that zone, they clench, right?
Like we both just did.
So if you get close to that zone and he relaxes, then
listen, I don't even relax when they get close to that
right.
zone.
So then maybe it's a sign.
Maybe it is.
Or you could just be an adult and straight up ask them.
But wait, they could just be these broskies that like to jerk off together or like suck a little bit, and they're not getting. Listen, you talk about 2020, so we can't label.
Right.
If people, just because you have a gay experience doesn't make you gay. We've talked about this before. If I were to sleep with a woman one time, I'm still gay. You know what I mean?
Let's give it a try, Judge.
All right, show's over. She started taking off her bra.
Yeah, for those that can't see. See, another reason why you have to watch this on YouTube.
Yeah, and subscribe. This could go a lot of different ways, and I would be uncomfortable with this too, though.
I say when it comes to whether you should bring it up again or not, my answer is follow your gut. If it's something that's going to bother you, bring it up. If you get an answer you don't want, then you know your answer.
Yeah.
The other question is, we kind of answered this. Girls share bed all the time. Is it really that weird? And honestly, now that we've talked about it more in 2020, I don't think it is. But men are like, the thing about men sharing a bed is women don't get morning wood. Or midnight wood.
We have it all the time. 12
or 11 p.m. wood, or any wood at any time. So.
Well, it's just our body's way of keeping that organ healthy.
Sure.
It needs blood too.
No, it's because y'all are pervs.
Well, that.
I'm just joking.
But you know how at the beginning I flipped it on you and I said if the guy you're dating wanted to stay in bed with me, it was a deal breaker. But what if we put me in the situation and I had a boyfriend and he had a girlfriend come visit and they wanted to stay in a bed? I would have no problem with that.
Well, your ex has a really close girlfriend.
Yeah. And
So what if you guys were back dating and he was like, you know what? I want to sleep with her tonight instead of you. You go sleep on the couch. The couch alone, I don't care who you're sleeping with. You could be sleeping with the dog, with our beloved puppy. You could be sleeping alone. But if you're like, you go sleep on the couch, fuck you.
Yeah.
You go sleep on the couch.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The part is being told to sleep on the couch.
And I think that's the whole thing. It's not about two men sharing a bed that bothers me. To me, it's the whole like, we've been having a night drinking, partying, having a good time. And then he's going to be like, you sleep on the couch, babe.
And I'm going to go sleep with another man.
No, at that point, he should want to mount me like a fucking pony.
Yeah, see? So
is that a saying?
So, well, it is now. And, you know, the more we go over this, then it sounds like you are a little suspicious.
Right. And if you're suspicious, chances are there's a reason to be. And that doesn't mean you have to judge him for his choices. Have a conversation. If he's like, yeah, we do hook up. It's just like something we do as friends. Then you have to make a decision whether you're okay with that or not.
Yeah.
The last question that we'll finish up on is, and I'll let you go first. If you were in her shoes, what would you do?
Well, so now all of a sudden I'm a girl. No, it would be like total. I would call him out. I would totally call him out and be like, you like to jerk off with him or something. Like you. But see, a lot of straight girls, I feel they don't know that a lot of men do this.
Right.
So they're just oblivious to the fact that that happens. And so I think I would call him out.
If I was you and I was told to sleep on the couch, I would say, no, I'll sleep on the floor next to you guys.
Oh, and then.
Or even better, this is what I would say. And I love doing this with friends anyways. is like sometimes when you have like a lot of friends staying at your house, and I do this with my girlfriends, like there was times when I had the house on Vaughan where 6 of them would come in from Toronto, and we're all best friends since we were little. We'd bring the mattresses downstairs, pump them in the living room, and everyone slept over. So that's what I would have suggested, but we can't say what we would have done. We need to say what we're going to do now. So sorry about that. Again. But right now, what I would do, and I do feel like the Stacy and I resonate together, I would bring it up because I'm also not one that's good at letting things.
Stacy should bring it up with her
boyfriend.
Stacy's the girlfriend.
Stacy's the girlfriend. I think she should, because I think she doesn't want to approach him again because he got so mad the first time when he said something like. So that's why she's scared. It's like when you accuse your boyfriend of cheating for the first time and he is cheating, but he gets super mad at you. You're scared to ever like approach him after. So I think that you should approach it again, see his reaction, maybe even ask a little bit more about the friendship backstory. Is there a reason you guys always slept in the same bed? Is there a reason you guys talk? What did you talk about?
Yeah.
Ask more questions instead of just assuming things. Just start asking more questions and be like, hey, next time he comes over, why don't we just bring the mattresses in the living room? We can have a big sleepover if he doesn't like sleeping alone. Or if you guys, because I'm a part of your life now. So shouldn't I be a part of his life too? And, just try to ask some more questions because I think there's something deeper about this friendship and not necessarily in a sexual way. I think there has been trauma maybe even in the past that has made these two, maybe even brothers.
Maybe sexual trauma.
Oh, here we go.
But I was going to say sexual trauma, everything's out the window now.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think there's more questions that need to be asked. You're making a snap judgment and you have every reason to be as a girlfriend. You've been asked to leave your boyfriend's bed after a night of drinking when every girl wants to get it on after that.
Get it on. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Okay. This is good advice you kind of just gave for any relationship problem. Women, I shouldn't say women, people, but it happens a lot with women. You jump to conclusions too much and you take the negative route. So if you just calm down for a second and go with the reverse psychology of pretending that this is cool, oh, that's cute. What do you guys talk about all night? Pretend you're into it. And then see if you get more answers than putting them on the defense.
And make positive suggestions okay, well, next time he comes into town, how about we just move the couches into the bedroom and the mattresses into the living room and we'll just have a big slumber party and I can invite other people over. If it is a friendship thing, then they'd be oh, that's a good idea. But I think maybe he felt my friend's coming into town and we need to do, I don't know.
Or you'd think it was weird or.
Don't be afraid to say what's on your mind. And a lot of women have troubles doing that because they don't want to hurt the person. They don't want to ruin the relationship. But at the end of the day, after many countless failed relationships, I wish I just spoke my mind a bit more.
Amen. I try to tell myself that too when it comes to guys I have crushes on. Speak your mind because half the time you get what you want.
And I guarantee you will meet that man that one day where you can always speak your mind and you feel comfortable doing it.
So comfortable you could pop a zit on his butt cheek.
Exactly.
Now, I want to say one more thing, which is where there's smoke, there's fire. And I think we can both agree that there's something that she isn't seeing in this, whether it's sexual, whether it's trauma, whether he's afraid of the dark. There's something that's gray.
And that's what we don't know. So we can't assume what the gray area is. You have to ask questions. You have to do some detective work.
They're 69ing.
Women are... Can you six?
What? Yes, you can 69.
No, because one is a dick and one's a vagina.
What?
On the symbol.
They're both dicks.
No, because you think of the symbol, right?
Oh my God. I've always...
Dick, vagina.
But look, 6, they're upside down. So both of the 6 and the 9
No, that's the Cancer sign, not the 69 sign.
Okay, we got to get a paper around here.
God.
I always thought it was 2 dicks.
Speaking of which, we are... Oh, no. Excuse me. No reason to tell them about Pictionary tonight.
No. Oh, God.
Anyways.
Goodbye.
Cheers.
Safe travels.
Please send us your letters. When we get this new website going, we're actually going to have a drop-down menu where you can just send the letters anonymously.
It's going to be great.
So it's going to be amazing.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you for giving us content.